Now, your NBC 10 First Alert weather.
And you can see this snowstorm on NBC 10 First Alert radar as we recap what we know right now. So people are now seeing 10 inches of snow and more in some places.
And after getting snow in our region since mid-morning, the Shore and Atlantic City, now they're finally starting to see this snowstorm. SEPTA buses delayed up to an hour right now, and SEPTA Regional Rail delayed up to 50 minutes. You can see school closings scrolling along the bottom of your screen. We know so far that Philadelphia public and parochial schools are closed tomorrow.
And here's a live look at the snowstorm as we point our camera towards 30th Street Station. Amtrak has also announced it will operate on a modified schedule on the Northeast Corridor tomorrow and also on the Keystone service to Harrisburg as a result of this weather.
NBC 10's Darlene Jones live in University City. And Darlene, SEPTA trains and buses dealing with some major delays.
Major, Renee. You can see a small group of folks standing here behind me. They are no doubt freezing out here because they've been waiting for their train to get here for quite some time. You can see as we kind of go up there in the stairwell that some people are actually trying to keep warm in the stairwell there. This small crowd you see here is nothing compared to what we've seen here this afternoon. We have seen some very large crowds of people waiting up to 2 hours for their train to arrive here at the University City Station. I talked to some SEPTA officials earlier today, and I asked why they didn't, sort of modify their schedule, maybe have more trains trying to transport people, more buses trying to transport people ahead of this snowstorm. And I was told by a spokesperson, Jerry Williams, that it's very difficult to modify the train schedules, not only because they are regulated by some federal guidelines that they have to kind of deal with, but they also, she said, have to share some of the tracks with Amtrak trains, which I heard Renee just say Amtrak is also kind of operating on a modified schedule. So a lot of things at play here, but that is certainly no consolation for the folks who are waiting in the cold, frustrated that they've had to wait so long for their train to arrive here.
So it's hard with SEPTA. They do what they want anyway, Prices increase, and this is what we deal with, so it's hard.
They said they can't do anything because it's so difficult to adjust the schedule at the last minute.
I'm not going to be too hard on them. I believe that, so I'm going to be a little easy on them today. But I want to go home.
At least one passenger sort of trying to see the bright side of all of this. Every now and then we'll hear that announcement that you may be able to hear in the background now, reminding passengers that there is a delay because of the weather problems. We will continue to monitor conditions here, but I'll send it back to you for now, Jim and Renee in the studio.
People there probably don't need that reminder. Thanks so much, Darlene, for your coverage today. Several of our NBC 10 reporters know firsthand just how difficult the driving conditions are right now.
NBC 10's George Spencer among them. He's giving us a better idea of what the roads are like. He's not driving, he's not behind the wheel, but he continues our First Alert weather team coverage. George, how's it out there where you are?
Yeah, guys, I think we've made it a little bit further than you might have thought. We last talked to you guys at about 5:15, leaving the Bala Cynwyd area. We're now in New Jersey. The road conditions are still difficult driving, to be sure, but the good news is the volume has diminished some. Take a look. This is now... if I can get my camera switched around, this is a live look at Route 30 northbound in the Camden County area. You can see roads are passable. People are out driving on them. As I was saying, though, the volume of traffic out here has diminished. I can tell you on I-76 in both directions back in Philadelphia, we saw traffic moving pretty well. We saw plows out. On the left side of the screen, you just saw a plow passing here on Route 130, I should say, southbound in Camden County. So the volume has diminished, which is making it a little bit easier to get around out here. We will keep track of this, and we'll let you know if any other big trouble spots pop up. For now, we'll send it back in for a bigger picture with Christine Medella looking at the traffic cameras inside the studio. Christine?
Well, George, in some areas we are seeing some alleviation from that volume. In others, though, traffic is really stacked up. The Schuylkill Expressway is one of those right here because this ramp is so difficult to navigate. We are seeing, and this just popped up. Take a look at this right now. This is something that just happened, and I'm going to find out more more information about that incident. But there are some significant accidents out there. The driving conditions are tough. So 76 westbound at the ramp here, trying to get off at the Blue Route northbound. There are some big delays there, as well as in Delaware and on the New Jersey Turnpike. So be careful as you head out. Here's some road conditions along Route 1 in Delaware. You can see there some stacking up here along the New Jersey Turnpike. So depending on where you go, you are going to encounter some periods and pockets of some heavy volume, like right here along the New Jersey Turnpike near Interchange 11. Jim? Thanks,
Christine. And New Jersey State Police, of course, tweeted out that they were responding to hundreds of calls of people who were involved in fender benders accidents or who needed help.
Absolutely. It's treacherous out there. And we should probably tell viewers, we're telling people to be careful. Our George Spencer was not behind the wheel in that shot he was doing. Of course, his photographer was driving while he was talking and monitoring the camera for us. So just want you to know we're being safe out there as well.
We're trying. Let's get the latest on the weather now. NBC 10 Chief Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz been tracking this changing system, and the numbers just keep going up, Glenn.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why we put up the numbers as high as they are, because this is a long-lasting event, and it continues to snow hard. As you can see, it's snowing sideways in Philadelphia now, but the visibility is a little bit better in Center City, at least more than it was. 18 degrees now. The wind chill is 2, and it's just going to get colder from there. We continue to see this large area of snow and more coming up from the south to feed into it. So we're not about to see this weaken. We may actually see it a little burst as we go through the evening hours. And you can see the burst already in some of the northern and western suburbs, and also toward the shore. We're seeing a little bit more in Cape May. Future weather showing us as we go through the evening, it gradually tapers off from northwest to southeast, but it's going to take till morning before we see a taper off right at the shore. The temperature now in the teens just about everywhere. The wind chills are getting closer and closer to 0, and they'll be going below 0 during the night tonight and closer to 10 below as we go into the day tomorrow. The snow ending late tonight. Wind chill going down to 10 below. 6 for the low in the city, 3 in the suburbs. Tomorrow, 12 to 16, brutal winds. And then the 7-day forecast, low of 3 Thursday morning, 6 Friday morning. Chance of some light snow Saturday, and another chance of snow on Monday with another shot of Arctic air.
We will be right back with more coverage of this major snowstorm.